In June of 2023, I headed to Iceland for the Midnight Sun, and one of the tours I wanted to do the most was explore an ice cave. Starting in Vik, we headed out of the small coastal town into the barren yet beautiful Icelandic backcountry. After 45 minutes, we arrived, received basic instructions, and began heading towards the cave. The dramatic, rugged, yet stunning landscape blew me away. Currently heading to the Katla Ice Cave. About a 10 or 15 minute walk in this incredible landscape. Kind of reminds me of Hawaii, like Kauai. And then there's this huge, massive glacier. All that black is glacier with like ash and dirt on top. So this is gonna be a really sweet little adventure here in the middle of Iceland. Putting on our crampons, our group finally headed into the cave. Well, it was more of a tunnel, and I'll talk more about that at the end. While I walked on glaciers before, I'd never had a glacier above me or at eye level. Getting to touch the ice and move through it was a surreal experience. As this is a melting glacier, there was a stream running below us. To navigate the area, we zigzagged back and forth over wooden planks and holding on to ropes. While I felt at ease walking over them, I could understand those who might be a bit nervous. Once on the other side, we continued hiking on the black-covered glacier until we reached our turnaround point. It wasn't too far, and at this point, we began our trip back through the Katla Ice Cave. So we're in the Katla Ice Cave. We came from there, we went that way, and then we're going back through. It is very cool, and this part is just melting rapidly. The guide said that this whole area might be gone in a couple of years. The return trip was more of the same. We oohed and awed at the views, touched the ice, and enjoyed how the sunlight created various colors on the glacial face. With only being able to be inside the ice cave for a short amount of time, we really tried to soak up all the views and just experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It's raining glacier!
Hey guys, thanks for watching, and I just wanted to do a little review about the Katla Ice Cave because it was a little bit different than what I thought that it would be. So like I thought that it was going to be like a legit cave where like you walk down into it and there's like a hard back, then you gotta flip out. But for our experience, and this was in June of 2023, so that arch and that kind of like tunnel that we walked through no longer exists. It's now melted out as the guides kind of predicted. So I just kind of want to set that scene that you, at least during the summer, you're not going to like probably be going into a cave. Maybe you are. I'm not really sure like where they're going now, but at least for my experience, it was very cool, very worth it, but it wasn't exactly kind of like what I was anticipating. But it worked out. It was one of like the best things that we did in Iceland. So I also want to talk about a couple other things like on the trip. So So it was only about 3 hours. We started at 9 and we got back to the parking lot in Vic by noon. And it was about a 45-minute drive each way. So if you do the math, that's only about half the time when you're actually on the ground in the cave area. And there was also about a 10-minute walk on each side of the cave. And then you had some time in the back of the glacier once you left the tunnel. So all of that said, you're really only in the cool part for like maybe 50 minutes going in and out. So that is one thing to consider. Another thing that I would recommend is to do a morning trip or a end of the day trip. And why I would recommend this is because when we got there, there weren't like other groups coming back through. So this allows you to have a little bit more solitude, maybe some better photos without a bunch of people in it. I made sure to be at the back of my tour because I knew that there was nobody going to be behind us. So when I was wanting to flip around and get photos inside, there was no one going to be behind me. And I just was able to kind of dilly-dally and just kind of like get the images that I wanted to. If you go during the middle of the day, you're going to have like passing groups, and we had that on the way back where we were passing groups, so like they wouldn't have been able to get as good of shots. Another thing to note is that your group will not be the only one there. There was at least one other tour company who was running a trip at the same time. I think that there was maybe like 10 or so in our group, so kind of like double that for maybe the total number of people there. So yeah, so I would highly recommend it. It's really beautiful. It is kind of expensive. I can't exactly remember the like conversion rate, but I think it was around 200 a person for me and my fiance. So that is something to consider. But when it comes to doing these types of tours in like Iceland and maybe Alaska, I kind of try to stick to the mindset of, can I do this thing at home? And I definitely cannot go walk in an ice cave or a ice tunnel in Seattle. So I really try to jump at these opportunities that will expand my boundaries, expand my mindset, and just kind of like get a new experience. So if you have the time, you have the financial ability, I highly recommend doing the Katla Ice Cave. Thanks for watching, guys. Go check out more of my videos, and if you enjoy this, please subscribe. Have a great day.